Good morning, everyone. It's me, Kate Livingston. Right now, we're going to go over to Gordy Cosfeld at Bachelor's Faribault Center. And no, I didn't forget Royal Ross. Gordy's flying solo.
Yeah, now we're solo today. We are out at Bachelor's, the Faribault Center this morning. So I hope everybody has a fantastic Easter weekend. We've got Dave Wieber here from the track. We've got some gentlemen from the baseball team, so we got a good crowd. Hopefully, Kate, you remember to roll the tape just in case the macro doesn't kick in, and we have this automatically taped for our podcast up on the website, which we do each and every Saturday. And we're going to just roll in here with Dave. By the way, our show, you probably just heard, brought to us by Lonsdale's Country Market, G&H Property Management, where Royal Ross works, and Bachelor's, the Faribault Center, which is where we're located right now. They got a terrific Easter brunch tomorrow. If you want to go to it, I would highly recommend you go online and make your reservation, or call here and make your reservation at Bachelor's, the Faribault Center. I know 11 to noon is packed solid 11 to noon. I just signed up for my brother and I about 10 o'clock tomorrow morning here. And so the hint here is to go between 10 and 11 or noon and 2. And actually the noon to 1 is getting pretty full too. So 11 to 1 is pretty full. So if you want to have some delicious brunch, you know what that is. Brunch is part of the spread is breakfast and part of the spread is lunch. You can actually have both in one sitting. I love brunches. You like brunches, Dave? I don't know what it is about a brunch, but I like to have eggs with my, ribs or something.
Sure, yeah. And it's all good.
They're going to have their famous ribs here. They're going to have a ham that's glazed with honey and bourbon. Doesn't that sound delicious?
Sounds good.
So come on out to Bachelor's Faribault Center for your Easter brunch tomorrow, serving again 10 until 2. You probably haven't had a lot of track meets.
We had one indoor meet way back in March 25th up in Wisconsin, actually. It was at the UW Superior track hosted by Hermantown. And that was our first get-go on the track. We had about half of our team there at the time because it was during spring break. And then our first outdoor meet was supposed to be March 29th. That got postponed, and we just ran that this Monday of this last week. And so that was our first outdoor meet of the season. And then we also had another meet that was originally scheduled for Thursday this week. We moved it to Wednesday because of the weather. It looked a little better that day. It was still cold, but we got the meet in. So we've got 2 outdoor meets and 1 indoor meet under our belt. And the team is starting to shape up. We're starting to see, where people are going to be best fit. But that's kind of what the whole point of these early season meets is to give kids opportunities to try different events and find out where their strengths really are.
When I was in high school, you could be in both track and baseball. Is that the case now?
It's a little harder to do that these days, I think. There have been kids that have done it. And it certainly is something that we wouldn't say no to anybody that wanted to do that, but it takes a lot of communication between both programs and make sure that the kid's not getting pushed in too many directions, because that's not good for them either way. Then
right.
They have to be able to be at the best in both places, and so it's kind of tough to make that schedule work, but we've had kids do that.
Yeah, I know. I was in baseball in high school, and the track coach tried to get me to come out to run a mile or 2 mile because I had good times in Phi Ed in those distances, right? And so, I wasn't fast by any stretch, but I had pretty good stamina, and that's why I was pretty good at the distances, and I just didn't feel right about doing it. But one of my best friends, who played first base on the baseball team, ended up on a state entrant 4 by 800 meter relay team or something. He was fast.
Yeah. Yep. There haven't been that many kids that have done it, but there's been a few.
Yeah.
So in terms of where we're sitting right now, the team is the biggest team we've had. I've never had a team this big. So that's kind of nice to have numbers. In the Big Nine, it's all about numbers. So we have about 100 boys out for track, about 50 girls, and both of those are good numbers for us. We've been down for the last several years, and so it was kind of nice to have an influx of people. We have 18 different events that we have to cover, and you need to have about 3 or 4 in every event. And so to compete with the Big Nine schools, you really have to have some numbers. So we've run up against a few Big Nine schools already, and things are looking good. We're kind of excited about how our sprints look, how our jumps look, our throws, our distance kids. We've got solid people in every event. So the postseason should be a good time for us. We're looking forward to it.
I was just going to say, is it too soon to talk about possible state entrance?
It's never too soon to start talking about it. It's definitely something you have to do on the day, though. You have to take. You can't take something that happened during the season and that gets you to say it has to happen at the section meet. So we'll see who's going to be where at that point. Some of our big names on the sprint side: Christian Escobar and J.J. Schroet and Derek Sando. We co-opt with BA this year, and Derek came over from BA, and he's a heck of an athlete for us. Barack Barner is another one that's been really good for us in the sprints. In our hurdles, we've got Jordan Boudreau and again Christian Escobar and Carter Johnson. They're really stepping up their times. They're already beating their personal bests from previous years in the first couple of meets when it's cold out. So we're looking forward to see what happens when those sprinters get some warm weather. That's usually when their times drop big time. So it's been kind of fun to see that. Another guy who's really stepped up and being a first-year track athlete is Ian Ehlers. He's already high jumping 5'10", and he's been over 6 in practice. He's a heck of a high jumper. And then we found out he's actually fast. He's running 200-meter dash for us and doing well there. So kind of having fun with him in some relays too.
I'm kind of perplexed because wouldn't he run a 40 in football? You would have known he was fast, wouldn't you?
Nobody knew he was that fast.
Oh, okay.
I mean, a 40 in football is a whole different thing than running a 200-meter dash.
Well, that's true. You're right there.
But yeah, it's an indicator.
Right.
And we use that as kind of a tool to see there's natural talent. But I mean, if you just went on 40s, that's a whole different kind of race than running 100 meters or 200 meters. And then we've got some 400-meter runners that are just blowing the doors off at 400 right now. Henry Schonebaum, Ahmed Bouabid, Thomas Malika, Alex and Reyes Tercios, those twins. Those guys are awesome 400 runners. We haven't had this strength in 400 runners for a long time. Ricky Cordova's been a good 800 guy for us. Alex Tuma has a personal best already this year in his 1600, and he's closing in on his 3200 already. So Alex is going to be a strong leader for us in the distance. Trent Taw has really stepped up this year in the distances. So we're going to be pretty solid in a lot of places. In the jumps, Owen Carlin has already exceeded his best in both long jump and triple jump already this early in the season, and he's looking to be one of our top scorers on the team. He's involved in a lot of events. Devin Lockerbie is kind of starting out right where he left off last season in the throws, shot put, and discus, and he's going to be our leader there. But we've got some young guys that are going to be pushing behind him. Jalgeet is way over where he was last year. He started the season throwing 10 feet further than his previous bests in discus and about 5 feet further in the shot put, and we're looking forward to see him make it maybe to state this year. It'd be fun to see that big guy go. So overall, I think we have a pretty strong team, and that the talent and the numbers is going to help us compete. For the first year in Minnesota history, we're going to have 3 classes of track and field, and so we've been in the AA section for I think as long as Faribault has been around. But now they've made a 3rd class, and all the big schools are moved out of AA and into AAA, and we're sitting pretty good in AA.
So you're one of the bigger AA schools.
Right. So we hope we get a bunch of guys to state, and that's kind of our goal.
Does that mean they have to hold state at 3 different sites?
No, they're going to hold it all at one site, but they're going to do it over 3 days. So it's going to be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday situation. A and AAA, single A and AAA are going to be on Thursday, and then single A will have their final, that's the prelim day. Single A will have their final on Friday, and Double A will have their prelim on Friday, and then Double A and Triple A will have their finals on Saturday. So it's a 3-day process, but it'll get all the classes through.
Yeah. We got enough facilities we could have it at each different sites, couldn't we?
You could, but the hard part is finding enough workers.
Oh, I suppose.
That's the tough thing for a track meet. It takes a lot of workers in a state meet, especially because they have, you need to have certified officials at every event.
Still going to be at Hamlin?
Nope. Hamlin's out of the picture. So last year, they did it at St. Michael Albertville High School, and they're doing it at St. Michael again this year.
Should be a Faribault.
It's to be determined where it's going to be in the future. I know there's a couple of colleges that would like to host it, but I don't know. There's very few that have the facilities big enough to hold the state meet.
Couldn't we?
Even Hamlin was far too small. They had to rent out a whole bunch of bleachers, and the state high school league really didn't like having to spend out the cash for renting bleachers and also rent a field. So I don't know what's going to happen in terms of the state meet situation. We were blessed for about 20 years with the National Sports Center in Blaine. That was a fantastic facility to hold. It was designed for big track meets. It held 11,000 people, and the best seats were all on the straightaway and the curve by the finish line. And they had the indoor facility right next door, so the kids could warm up indoors, come out outdoors, run their event, go back indoors, cool off.
What happened?
It was a perfect facility. What happened? The state didn't maintain it. After 20 years, they didn't put a dime into maintaining the track, and it was a hazard. You couldn't run on it anymore because there were so many holes in the track, and they just tore it up and made it soccer field.
Could Faribault host this?
We could. We've got more seating than Hamlin had.
Well, we have the facility, too, a beautiful track.
Yeah, yep. Don't doubt that we've had talks about that. One of the nice things about Faribault is that our track is not right by the high school. It's in the fairgrounds, so there's kind of unlimited parking, and you wouldn't have to shut school down to have those kind of meets, But trying to get people to come out of the metro is hard to do.
Well, St. Michael Albertville is not in the metro.
Well, they consider themselves in the metro. We're one county short, They go down to they don't go all the way to Rice. Dakota County is about as far as they consider the metro. So.
I can be in Lakeville in 20 minutes.
I know. Anyway, we're proud of our facility. We host a lot of meets because of it.
And you should be. That's a beautiful facility. Our whole community should be proud of Ted Nelson Track.
Yep, definitely. Well, I've probably talked long enough. So you got
talk to these guys, these baseball players who can run track, I hear, but you have enough numbers where you don't necessarily need a speedy guy.
Well, we've got a lot of people, yes. Well, we take anybody, but these guys, they got a job to do for the baseball team, and they got important things to do there.
Yeah. You know all these guys, Dave?
I know of them. I know some of them better than others, but yeah. Ben's in a couple of my classes, so.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, here, I'll hand it over to them.
All right. I'll let them introduce themselves. And you are, young man?
All right. I'm Hudson Dillon.
Hi, Hudson. How are you?
Good.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're just going to pass it on?
I'm Ben Stoessel.
Okay, Ben.
Brad Sartor.
Brad Sartor. That's a BA name, isn't it?
Yep.
Are you guys all from BA?
Just
okay.
me and Hudson.
Two of the three are, and you're captains, right? Oh, you're not captains?
Nope.
Oh, I thought Charlie told me he was going to send his captains out. That's okay. That's quite all right. Do you know how the captains work? Does the coach choose them? Does the players choose them?
The team votes on them, and we voted for Aiden Tobin and Hunter Nelson this season.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Oh, he's a catcher, so he's automatically.
Aiden signed his national letter of intent this past Wednesday.
Yeah, he did.
Over at BA. I was over there and got there a little after he made the signing, but I took a picture of a nice young man.
Yep.
I think he's got his head on right.
Yeah, he definitely does.
He had a good season opener at the plate. I know your team didn't do so hot over at Rochester Mayo. It was brutally cold, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty chilly.
And some teams, I've noticed all the scores that day were lopsided, which tells you that one team handled the cold a little better than the other team.
Yep. Yeah. It was definitely a tough game in terms of the play and pitching a little bit, but first game of the season, we've only had outside practice maybe twice this year, so the weather's been kind of biting us, but in the gym we get a lot of cuts, so we're hoping to improve on batting our next game.
I got to be honest. When I played baseball, I absolutely hated practices in the gym.
Yeah, they get pretty old pretty quick.
It's an outdoor sport.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an outdoor sport. It needs to be played outdoors, and it needs to be played in warmth.
Yeah.
What are your positions?
I'm a pitcher, and I also play center field and left field.
I'm a catcher.
That was me. I was a catcher.
I'm a pitcher, and I play outfield.
Which is your favorite?
Probably pitching.
You like pitching, huh? You like the challenge?
Yeah.
You like having the ball in your hand every play?
Yeah.
No, that's why I like catching, too. You have the ball in your hand every play.
Yeah, and I like shaking off Ben.
You do?
Yeah.
You don't shake off Ben, do you?
Yeah.
Seriously? Do you tolerate that, Ben? Guy used to shake me off too much. I'd go out to the mound and say, I'll put the fingers down, you throw what I tell you to throw.
Yeah, it's a little annoying when he shakes me off a couple times, but, he throws what he wants,
Does Charlie let you catchers call your own game, or do you get calls from the
It's kind of 50-50. Sometimes I look over and I get a sign from the dugout, but other times it's just me giving the sign, relaying it.
See, that's the thing. I was fortunate. My coach, once in a blue moon, he would say, this is what I want you to do. But he, by and large, let us catchers call the game.
Yeah.
And that keeps your head in the game, right?
Yeah, it does.
That's another thing I liked about catching. You were constantly in the game when you're in the outfield, right? I think it's kind of cold, and you're shivering out there when it's cold, and then you end up with you had a lot of errors earlier this week, right?
Yeah, we did. We struggled a little bit in that stance.
But hopefully you get things put together.
Yeah.
I know Charlie's wanted to have a combo team here the last couple of years, and this year the Cardinals brought some BA athletes over to Faribault High School. Should make you a stronger team, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Got a lot of good guys coming in, and makes us a stronger team as a whole.
Is catching something you really enjoy? Is it just the place where they put you because they thought you were the best at that position?
Over the years I've played infield also, but catching's kind of what I've liked, and it's kind of what I wanted to play this year, so I'm happy that I'm there.
Now, you got to have a pretty good arm to catch.
Yeah. It gets sore sometimes, too, but, yeah.
Did you have anybody run steal bases on you in the mail game? Or?
Yeah, I don't really think so. There was a couple pass balls. There was like 2 pass balls, and they stole, but I didn't really get a chance to throw anybody out. So.
Is that what you like to do, though?
Yeah, I like throwing people out, especially the third.
Gets you kind of pumped, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Now, early it was a 1-1 game.
It was, yeah.
Do you remember, can you give me some details about how you guys got your first run, I guess?
Well, I had the first RBI in that game.
Way to go, Mr. Sartor.
Yes, I hit just a little line drive to the left field foul line, and Tobin was at second. Luckily, he's fast enough to where he can get home.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that was our first run, and then we came back out in the second inning, and I don't quite remember the score at that point. Then we had a chance to bat again, and then I also hit Henry Schoolmeister's in for our second run, and that's about all we did.
And I did see that Aiden Tobin had 2 doubles in the game.
Yep.
Which was good right after he signs his national letter of intent to play baseball at Wartburg. He has 2 doubles. But you guys had, I talked to Charlie the other day, your stats said you had 8 errors, and he said that was generous.
Yeah, probably.
You had more than the 8 errors.
Yeah, our infield struggled a little bit, and they were absolutely smacking the ball on us. And it was pretty windy, so a lot of balls were carrying in the outfield, and it was just hard to get under it. Had some points, had a couple go off the wall or hit the warning track, so it's just hard to catch those balls I hit so far.
Well, and in the wind, right?
Yeah, especially in the wind.
Man, that's an adventure. I always hated wind, especially if I primarily caught, but I did play some outfield and some infield.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite position?
Me, personally, I like being in the outfield, but pitching's fun too. Especially if it's like a close game, I like to be in those situations.
You don't shake him off, do you?
Sometimes. Not a lot, though.
You take this personal, sir? When somebody shakes you off?
No, like I said earlier, it's whatever they want to throw. I'm not the guy on the mound, but it is a little annoying sometimes.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, you handle it well.
Yeah.
You handle it very, very well. So the Falcons, I think, have a good chance of being a pretty good baseball team this year, don't you think, Mr. Dillon?
Yeah, I think we got a good chance. We just got to get used to playing baseball outside. It's our first game, and we only had a few practices outside.
Yeah. Maybe one before your game, right?
Yeah, we had 1 or 2. and it was still super cold out then, too.
It was
so.
Mayo's third game, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So that's really not fair when you think about it. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it, but I'm just saying that that's a major advantage to have played in the cold before, and you guys were not only playing in the cold for the first time in a game, but you only had like one practice under your belt.
Yeah, it's tough for us, but we'll get better throughout the year.
I'm glad to hear that confidence. Do you have any idea what you got coming up this next week? Mr. Sartor's the schedule guy.
Yes, so we got 4 games this week. Hopefully none of them get canceled or postponed. But Monday we got away at Mankato East, and then we also play on a Tuesday, and one of those games is Owatonna or Northfield, and then we also play Thursday and Saturday, but I can't quite remember.
Yeah, I think Thursday again, Northfield, because we got that game on the radio.
Yep.
At Northfield, right?
Yep.
Or is it at your place? I don't remember now.
It's at Northfield. So Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday are all away, and then I think Saturday is our first home game.
And I have to be honest, I'm not a big fan. Sorry to any Northfield people listening, but broadcasting over there is not fun. We don't have a press box.
Oh, at Northfield? No?
Nope. We do here, of course.
Yes.
The state amateur baseball tournament is going to be played here.
Yeah, actually our first outdoor practice, they were all they're visiting the field, and Charlie was giving them a little tour. So yeah, that'll be fun to go to in the summer.
How about the improvements they've made, the new scoreboard and all that? You haven't had a chance to see any of that yet, have you?
No. The one practice we were outside, we practiced on our field, so we did see the new scoreboard and all that, and it's pretty cool to play on a nice field.
Did they turn on the scoreboard?
No, they didn't. No.
Oh, I was going to say, maybe you get your name put up there and all that stuff. I don't know if they can do that on this board. They can put the name of the teams up, though. It's not home visitors.
Yeah, yep.
So, and I like the fact that they didn't go grandiose on the scoreboard either, right? It's just your basic scoreboard.
Yep, just a normal scoreboard.
Put some money into the field itself. There's some fencing in front of the dugouts, though. You haven't had to experience that before. What do you think?
No, personally, I like it because last year, just sitting on the bench with the injury, I kind of had a lot of balls hit at us in the dugout, so it's nice to have a little protection there.
You like it? How about you?
I like it too. It's nice to have something there when there's foul balls ringing at you, and gives you a sense of protection.
It really is amazing that more people don't get hurt sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
I got clocked once in a game when I was a kid, when I was sitting in the dugout, and it was not fun.
Oh, yeah.
No. And it's amazing it didn't happen more often.
Right.
Like Mr. Sartor said, you get a lot of balls in the dugout.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of balls go in the dugout off foul balls.
Course of the season. Mr. Dillon, what grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Oh, wow. You got a couple of years left.
Yeah.
So asking you what your future plans are probably would be fruitless. You have no clue, right, as a sophomore?
Yeah, I'm not really sure yet.
Let's see. What did I want to do when I was a sophomore? Can't remember. I thought maybe be a librarian.
I don't want to be a librarian, I know that.
No. What else was on my wheelhouse? I thought about being a pastor. There's quite a difference there between librarian and pastor, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yep. End up going to radio school, so that tells you what happens there. What grade are you in, sir?
I'm also a sophomore.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any thoughts on what you might want to do in the future?
College. I know for sure I want to go to college, but after that, it's kind of...
You want to play sports?
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to if I got the opportunity, but we'll see when that comes to me.
Do you play other sports?
Yeah, I play hockey and football.
Okay. What's your favorite sport?
Probably football. Probably baseball. Say baseball.
Well, you don't have to say that just because we're on talking baseball.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite sport.
It is your favorite.
Yeah.
So you do best at baseball? My favorite sport was basketball, but my best sport, in terms of my ability, was baseball.
Yeah, my best sport is probably hockey or baseball for sure. But I think I prefer baseball over hockey.
Because of the cold or what?
No, I just like the environment, being outside. I don't know, it's good vibes playing baseball, so I like that.
What about you, sir?
My favorite, I play baseball, basketball, and football. My favorite to play is probably football, but my favorite sport is probably baseball.
Okay. Why football?
It's just fun going out there and, just not having to think or anything, just running at people, hitting them. I don't know.
So you like defense?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my favorite side of the ball, too.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the tackler than the tacklee.
Yeah, Sam, I don't like to
It's
get
probably
hit.
not a word, but I made it up. I'm with you on that. But you said your best sport?
Probably baseball.
It's probably baseball. And again, what position?
Left field and pitcher.
Okay. But you prefer pitching over playing out in left field?
Yeah.
Especially when, what was the temperature? Game time temperature was what, 36 on?
Windshield was like 30.
I bet it was colder than that, the wind chill. Because it was,
I think it was something like that.
it was,
Or maybe like 25.
yeah, it was cold. And standing out in the outfield shivering is not my idea of fun.
Yeah, especially when the wind's blowing right in your face.
And it was for you, huh?
It was.
Charlie said when I saw him, Coach Lechtenberg, when I saw him at the signing for Mr. Tobin, he said, we're moving the game to Rochester. Because originally I was supposed to broadcast here in Faribault. And I said, well, I don't think I want to go down there and freeze my tail off. And he goes, well, they got that big apartment building, so we probably shouldn't have a lot of wind on the field. Was that true?
There was a lot of wind on the field, but I don't know if there would have been up there.
Yeah, there you go. And then you were in right field?
During the game?
Yeah.
During the game, I played, I started off in center, and then I came in to relieve for Hunter, and then I went to right field, and then after that, I also went to left field. So I played 4 positions the whole game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
they
cool.
moved me around quite a bit.
And all you did was catch? I mean, I shouldn't say all you did, but you caught the whole game?
Yeah, I caught the whole game.
So you caught the what'd you have, 4 pitchers, if I remember right?
Yeah, we had Hunter, then Brad, then Aiden Qualley, and then Hudson.
Okay.
So 4, yeah.
All right. Well, at least you got some game time in, right? And got the jitters out. The first game, you're always a little nervous, aren't you?
Yeah, I was a little nervous coming in, first varsity game, but.
Now, you're a senior, right, Mr. Sartor?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I remember from hoops, got a little injury to start the season,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then finally got it going.
Yep.
Basketball's not your favorite sport.
I enjoy basketball, but it's definitely baseball all the way.
Because you're, a pretty good shooter.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Everybody, they used to call me Bingo. Bingo Smith was a big NBA player when I was a kid. He either had it or he didn't.
Yep.
In a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'd just nail them one right after the other, or he'd miss one right after the other. That was me.
Yep.
You either had it or you didn't, and obviously I didn't have it more often than I had it. But that's the way that goes. You got plans for Easter?
Easter, personally, no. I might go out to get some breakfast somewhere, but.
Okay. How about you? You guys got plans for Easter?
Yeah, we usually go hang out with family. That's probably what we'll do. Have brunch and.
Awesome. Is the family around here?
Owatonna. So I think we'll go to Tori's in Owatonna for brunch. And then,
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, they got a great brunch right here on Brasher's tomorrow. 10 to 2 are the hours. So are you originally from Owatonna and you moved up here? How did that work?
No, my mom's from Owatonna. My dad's from Burnsville, but I was born here in Faribault.
Well, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Is Owatonna a big rival for Faribault?
Yeah, they are. They're probably about as big as Northfield. Don't like either of them, but it's whatever. That's where my mom's from, so I respect it.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Mr. Dillon?
I'm going to be visiting my grandma and grandpa at Austin, Minnesota,
Cool.
south of here.
That's down there where they know how to make the pork.
Yeah.
Hormel, right?
Yeah.
Would your grandfather have worked there? Almost
yeah,
everybody in Austin worked at Hormel at one time or another.
No, my grandpa doesn't work there. But my grandma makes some amazing ham.
Does she
Somebody said to eat that.
All right. And you should have seen the smile on his face when he talked about that, ladies and gentlemen. So thanks, gentlemen, for coming out. And maybe we'll see you I know I'll see you down the road. I think I got a broadcast this week. If it's not this week, it's the following week. It's on a Thursday, I think, that you play at Northfield. So,
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Thanks again, gentlemen, and happy Easter to all of you.
Thank you.
Happy Easter to all of our listeners, too. The bowling scores, we'll let Royal do that. Typically, I think they had their last week, so maybe we'll get those scores from Royal Ross on our next edition, the Faribault Coaches Show. Of course, typically he throws in an ad concerning, of course, G&H Property Management. You heard the ad at the beginning of the show, and he obviously can talk about his business better than I can talk about his business. I can only tell you that Royal is a top-notch guy, and when I'm dealing with an investment, probably the biggest investment you make is real estate, right? Whether it's a business or in a home, it's probably your largest investment of your lifetime. When you're dealing with that kind of an investment, you want a top-notch person, guy or gal. You want a top-notch, honest, forthright person. And if I were to describe Royal Ross, those would be the two words I would use: honest and forthright. So Shane H. Property Management is where you can catch Royal Ross. That is our coaches show out of here at Bashers, the Faribault Center. Don't forget, folks, if you want to get the brunch here at Bashers, the 11 to noon is already sold out. Noon to 1 is close to a sellout. I know my brother and I are coming in the early portion between 10 and 11, and then 1 to 2. They had some openings as well last I heard, but they're not a ton of them either. So if you want to have brunch at Bashers, they're going to have a ham that is honey and bourbon glazed ham. Sounds delicious to me. They're going to have their famous ribs and, of course, some breakfast items like scrambled eggs and bacon. And it's just going to be a terrific brunch out here at Bashers. Serving time 10 until 2. Call in for your reservations. Have to do that soon, or go on the website. Go on the website, the Bashers website, and get those reservations in as well. Out here at Bashers, the Faribault Center. Take it away, Kate.
On the Kenyon Wanna